Welcome and welcome back, Pero Comma family.
Hmm.
Today we're going to be doing our monthly wrap up for March. Please join us, grab a snack, a drink, your phone, whatever, and join us. All right, guys, we have Colette and then
You did it.
myself. I did it. Liz. And we're going to be going over our March wrap up
Hmm.
books, all our stats and all that stuff, and favorite books, not so favorite, and all that good stuff. Colette, darling, would you like to start off?
I would love to. So, in the month of March, I read a total of 9 books, which totals 4,493 pages. My average time to finish was 3 months, and we'll
Mm.
get to that. My biggest mood was adventurous, tense, and emotional. I don't know why I took myself down that type of journey. um, the pace of the majority of my books was medium at 78%, and then 11% was fast, 11% was slow. The majority of my books were over 500 plus pages. I wonder why.
Mm.
I have one nonfiction this month. I know,
Colette,
I know,
I'm so proud of
I know.
you.
My biggest genre was fantasy. I have 22% print, which is physical copy, 11% audio, 67% digital. And my rating for this month was 3.56 stars. What about you, Elizabeth?
So this month, I've read 6 books, totaling 2,248 pages.
Mhm.
Average time to finish was 3 months. We'll get into that as well later. My biggest mood was adventurous, followed by tense, lighthearted, funny, and emotional. Those four were all the same pie, the
Mm.
same size. My pace, 17% was fast. Ugh, sorry. 83% was medium. Page number. Most of my books were 50% of them were 300 to 499, 17% over 500, and 33% under 300. All of them were nonfiction or were fiction this month. Biggest genre fantasy, followed by classics and romance. Classics. 33% print, 17 digital, and 50% audio. There's a reason for that this month.
You are right.
Average rating 4.35 stars.
4.35. You had a good month.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. All right, let's start off with your books, Elizabeth.
All right. Uno momento, por favor. I need to put these back on now. Get my handy notebook. All right. So I have notes. Okay. So I finished
Mhm.
The Naturalist Society by Carrie Vaughn. It's a historical fantasy. I gave it 3.75 stars.
Mhm.
Um, this follows Beth, who was married to Harry, and it's in a time where women, you know, you already know. I don't got to go over all this stuff again.
Mhm.
There's magic involved. They're not allowed to practice. They call it taxidermy alchemy. Basically, magic
Is that
through
a necromancer?
no
Oh,
taxidermy. It's basically like magic through animals. And
okay.
women, and they have like a society where these men go on adventures and they classify new animals
Mhm.
and all this stuff. Well, Beth has a strong gift, but she's not allowed to do that stuff because she's a lady. So
Mm.
she marries Harry, who sees this gift in her, and they fall in love. But Harry is also kind of, you
Yeah.
know, yeah. So,
I didn't even know you knew that.
so Harry passes away,
Yeah.
and now she's like, oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
Two of his colleagues from the society come to visit because they want to get their hands on their work, but they are in it. They're nice guys. They're not, and of
Yeah.
course there is one guy who's trying to get his hands on the work and all that.
Mhm.
But Harry's work is really Beth's work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She just published everything under his name so it just follows her and
Mhm.
finding herself again after this death. She becomes besties with the colleagues and they help her out. And there's adventure and more magic and mystery. At one point, her family gets involved because they think she's going crazy and they put her in a loony bin for a little bit.
What?
She's amazing and escapes. It's great. It was a good
Kind of
read.
sounds
I
like
did.
lessons from lessons from a
A
hidden
hidden
teacher.
temple.
Lessons in chemistry. Lessons in chemistry. When I watched the show, it was kind of like not. I mean, she didn't go to a loony bin, but she did a lot of the work, and she had to publish it under the man's name and so on and so forth. And then he ended up dying, so she couldn't continue working.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. There's a movie called Big Eyes. I don't know if you've
I've
watched it.
heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
It's really good. It's really good. And for those of you, just so you get a little bit of background, this woman is a painter and she paints things. Her husband puts it under his name, and he basically started like treating her like a slave, like you have to finish this painting kind of thing. And he took
Yeah,
all the credit. They got a divorce, and she won. It's that story of, anyways.
yeah, because it's a true story, isn't it?
Yes, it is a true story.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was. I gave it 3.75 stars
Mm-hmm.
only because throughout the book you'll read a chapter from the character's perspective, and then they jump into like the next chapter is like a history lesson, which
Mm.
I get why they did it. It's just kind of where they lost me, which is why
Yeah.
I gave it a 3.75.
Gotcha. Okay.
And what's your first book?
Well, my first two was a tandem read, which was Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas.
Mm. That bitch.
And that is why I have 3 months to finish a book, because I started this and I paused it back last year. And then I ended up finishing it this month.
Mm-hmm.
I gave both 4 stars. I see why you love Manon. Her name is Manon, but it's fine. I'm going to call her Manon for Liz.
I have to give that to you. I have to give that to you because I don't remember if I think he was Scottish or she was Scottish, and she said Manon like you said. And I think they would know more than me. So
yeah. So I gave both books 4 stars. Tower of Dawn, that's the one with what's his face, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All it did was express more how I dislike Kale. I don't like him. I honestly wish he would have died, but that's just me.
Understandable.
All right, what's your next book?
My next book, let's just keep it in this SJM universe. Finally finished Crescent City 3, y'all.
What?
It only took me a year and some months. Gave that book a 3.5.
I think I gave it a 3.5 too. Like, it wasn't poorly written. I think there was a lot of stuff we didn't need, and it was just drug out. And I'm sorry, Bryce had such a character assassination. Like, I did not care.
And I have to agree with you because we did have a little bit of conversation about this.
Mm-hmm.
I have to agree with you on people just being put in the background when it's like they could have been utilized a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that you had told me that she had written this a certain way, and then they had her change it. I want to read what she wrote.
Yes. I was like, can we get the first one? What did she do in the first one? Because
yeah,
I don't
understand. With you. I want to read what she wrote.
Because Baxian, I don't know why he was in the background. I feel like he should have been a bigger character. Fury, I don't know why she was in the background. I feel like she should have been a bigger
First
character.
of all, Fury's been in the background the entire series.
Yeah, but the way they hyped her up in book 1, I just knew it was going to come into nothing.
Yes. No, I'm with you. So Baxian, I do know that he did, in my opinion, he did play a bit of a big part of
book 2.
No, in 3, when they're in the caves and he's talking to her about her perspective, like, well, and I like that, but I agree with you. It wasn't enough. Like Baxian, I wanted more of him, especially knowing his connection to Danica.
Yes.
But we're not getting into Crescent City 3 and the dumpster fire that it was. Not a dumpster fire. Okay, it was a little fire.
And tell the people, real quick, how I said Lydia carried that story. Do you agree?
Oh, no. She did. She did. Yeah. She did. Here are my notes. Bryce is a brat. Who is Hunt? And is he even powerful?
Right.
Darian is still annoying. Lydia'sTheBomb.com. I'm good on SJM. Those are my notes for that book. Like, I'm not going to rush to read another one of her books.
Yeah.
But anyways, I gave it a 3.5. That was my next book. Colette, yours, darling.
My next book, still in the SJM universe, was Kingdom of Ash. You see how the face changed. I gave that one 3.5. That wasn't my favorite. I feel like...
Hold on. I'm regrouping.
Okay. I personally feel like, to me, Aelin was underutilized.
I think you know what? I think we should do, like, I don't think so, because you have to take into account, and this is where you have to tap into your empathy, Colette.
What that is?
This woman was locked in a coffin with it, like, her mind is not where everybody else's mind is anymore.
I agree.
Her mind is focused on destroying Maeve. So, and she was not the key to defeat the Valg.
But here's the thing. I feel like I was more empathetic when Nehemia died, and I read when they sent her to Winland, and I was reading that when she first met Rowan. I was like, remember I contacted you. I was like, oh my God, like, you're not telling me she's depressed. I'm seeing that she's depressed through her actions and how you're writing her. Like, I can see it. And for this, I see the trauma, but I also feel like I'm trying to be sensitive because trauma is trauma, and I don't want to.
Let me lock you in a coffin with for 3 months, Colette, and then let me see how underutilized you are.
Okay. I'd be dead, number one. Number two, if my man didn't come save me, who is Dorian, I wouldn't even care. So, I'm just saying. I just felt like, again, I don't want to knock anyone's trauma, but I just felt like it was so traumatic. She couldn't do what she needed to do. I understand that she was focused on Maeve, but I also felt like that took away from the story. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I didn't, because she was not the key to defeat the Valg. Irene was.
Yeah.
She was the key to bring everybody together.
Yeah.
So I think we all wanted her to be, well, most people, because...
It was okay. Game of Thrones. If you watch Game of Thrones, it was a Night King, Jon Snow, Arya moment. Everyone felt like Jon Snow should have killed the Night King. Arya did it.
I get that.
But when Arya did, I was like, Arya! Like, I'm excited because it was Arya, but we all felt like, dang, Jon Snow didn't even take out the Night King. Like, we were waiting for that.
I get that.
Had all of these moments leading up to them two coming to a head, and it didn't come to a head. And that's how I felt with Aelin.
Understandable.
All right, what's your next book?
The Ever King
By L.J. Andrews.
by L.J. Andrews. I gave this book 4 stars. The Audible was really, really good. His accent, I just pictured like a fine ass pirate, just like, but
Ooh. Like Once Upon a Time? Did you ever watch that show? Like that pirate?
Yeah. I really, really, really enjoyed it. Hot Pirate. So here, I put Hot Pirate King with what? With Recover? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, with something to recover. I see where because I crossed something out and you know what? I'm not asking you to read my notes.
I understand.
I can't even read them.
I understand. One time I wrote something and I was like, dang, Colette, your handwriting atrocious.
It wasn't even my handwriting. It's because I wrote some of it somewhere else and then the other word. But yeah. The Earth Healing Princess. Like she has the magic to heal. A Land Under Sickness. There's love, there's adventure. He's the type of guy, look at my girl wrong and I'm gonna slaughter you. There's just, I gave it what? 3.5. Because there's a little bit, okay, so he's one of those characters that doesn't lie, but omits things and lets you just chill with your assumption.
Reese.
Okay, I didn't make that connection. I didn't make that connection.
And that's why I tell people all the time, people are like, well, Reese lied. I was like, Reese is a morally great character. If you want him to have on a white cape and golden armor,
not reading the right book.
That's not for you.
Yeah. So it was just one of those things, and I'm like, really, motherfucker? Like,
yeah.
You could have.
Well, that's a series, right? It's 3 books or 2?
I think it's 2. I don't know how many books, but I know there's a second one, which I am going to read.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it was good.
Okay.
It was good. I liked it. It was just that part made me mad, so I took off a whole star. Am I being a little harsh? Probably, maybe. But it's just how I felt at the moment. Your next book?
My next book was Heat of the Moment by Brianne Denée. I gave that 2.5 stars.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm kind of disappointed. We did book recommendations for our Kindle, and this was one of the books I had recommended. Do
you take it back?
I don't take it back. I just feel like reading her other books where I love Projects in Loriana, I just didn't feel it for these characters. I don't know if it's a short story. It's only 119 pages. I think she might have needed more pages. I don't believe the quote unquote love that they had. I don't know. It didn't hit what it needed to hit. So that was my thing. I'm still going to read some more of her stuff. I just don't think short story format is what's best for her. But yeah. What's your next book?
My next book is The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. And I picked this book because years and years ago, I went and saw the movie in the movie theater, and I really enjoyed the movie. It has Daniel Radcliffe in it. So I was like,
oh, I watched that.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's on Audible Plus. So if you want to listen to it, it's a quick read. It's a quick listen. I enjoyed the book better.
Yeah.
But I also enjoyed the movie equally as much.
Yeah.
And so it's not better. But I enjoyed it differently because the story is a little different. But both stories are good. So I don't know how to, like the way they did the movie was good. The way they did the book was good. Anyways, I gave it 4 stars.
Okay.
Let's give like a generic that follows both the book and the movie. This gentleman works for like a law firm
Hmm.
doing like estate stuff, and he has to go out to this city. I believe it's in England or some,
Hmm.
Brit, UK.
Yeah.
And one of his customers, one of the people from the firm that pay the firm, they were kind of like adopted by the firm owner's father. Like they've just been a
Hmm.
client for that long, right?
Okay.
So they don't know much about her. He's tasked with going out there and getting her estate in order because she passed away. While he's out there, he goes to her house, which is creepy. I know you remember from the movie.
Hmm.
This house is like in the middle of the water, and you can
Yeah, in the
only
marsh.
get, yeah, in the marsh. You can only get to it or from it in the
In the day.
morning or at a certain time at
When the
night
water
before the
recedes from
tide
the road,
comes
right?
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once that tide comes in, you're stuck out in the middle of the marsh. There's nobody getting you.
All I can think about are mosquitoes, but continue.
It's maybe because it's so cold up there, there's not mosquitoes.
Is that how that works?
Yeah. Well, in the winter, we have less mosquitoes. And for you Floridians who don't know, if you put an owl box on a tree for them to nest, less mosquitoes and rodents. Bat boxes, you could put bat boxes. So instead of them going into your attic, you could put bat boxes on your trees and they'll go nest in there. No mosquitoes. Also, if you plant some lavender, no mosquitoes. Anyways, back to the book. So there's ghosts, there's horror. He unlocks some secrets, he
Hmm.
sets some things straight and all of that stuff. So it's just his journey through all of that. And I'm not going to talk about the ending because they're both kind of different from both books. So book and movie.
Interesting.
But good. Both
Yeah.
endings are really good. So that was mine. I gave it four stars, and my notes were ghost story, historical, love, secrets, lost, mystery. I recommend. Audible Plus, y'all. Your next book?
My next book is Forged by Blood by Iho.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We'll put it on the screen.
Yep. I gave that 3.5 stars. So did I give that book away? Yes, I did. I put that book in my oh
Yes, please tell us. What have
me
you
and
been
my
up to, Loretta?
mother-in-law, we went half on a free little library, so I put it in there.
Oh my god!
So,
Did you got it all set up and everything? We need a
yeah,
picture.
yeah. Super excited. Um, so yeah, I put it in there. It's not a bad book. It's just not a book that I want to continue, and it's not a book that I wanted to keep as like a trophy book. So I think the story itself was fine. I just didn't like the fact that I feel like you tried to use the trope of a love triangle, but it wasn't a love triangle because we knew who you wanted from the jump.
Yeah.
So, but there are a lot of twists and turns. People that you thought were regular people are not regular people. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So I enjoyed it, but not enough to actually follow through with the second book. It was straight. It's basically about a girl who is magically inclined, one of the strongest, and it's African mythology. So they're in a place like Africa. I know Africa is a continent. Don't come for me. The point is, they're in a place like Africa, and it's like the British colonization of the countries. And they started taking out all of the black people that could do magic, and white people can't do magic except for this little white boy. And it goes from there. But yeah, I mean, it was good. It was just, I don't care to continue. So there you have it.
Okay.
All right, what's next?
My next one is Howl's Moving Castle
I have that on my TBR.
by Diana Wynne.
I feel like that's on Kindle Unlimited.
Is it? Diana Wynne Jones. I rated this book 4.5 stars. Loved it. Loved it. And I read this because I know it's a Ghibli
Howl's Moving
Studios.
Castle is available on Kindle Unlimited, just so you
There
know.
you go, y'all. And it's on Audible Plus.
Yep.
So, Big Sister gets cursed by the Witch of the Waste.
Mm-hmm.
There's this guy who lives in a moving castle, just going around making women fall in love and breaking their hearts.
What are you, Jax?
That's what I thought. Then maybe that's where they got inspiration for Jax. So she's trying to figure out her stuff. She turned her into an old woman because she was already acting like an old woman. Okay. Her sisters were off learning magic, getting married. Mm-hmm. She finds this moving castle. Within this castle, there's this little boy apprentice, as well as a fire that's a demon, which we find out it's something else later on. No. He has a contract. So basically, her and this fire make a deal like, hey, you break my curse, I'll break your curse, and everybody's happy, but we can't let Hal know. So Hal's here doing all this stuff. He's like everywhere and a lot like Jax, actually. And a lot of magic, adventure.
I'm sorry for y'all that don't know, Jax is from Once Upon a Broken Heart series.
Yeah.
But continue.
Lots of magic. There is, little sprinkles of love and stuff. It was a magical, adventurously story. No, that didn't make sense. It was a magical story, y'all. And it had adventure and all of that good stuff. Rated at 4.5. Kindle Unlimited and Audible Plus, y'all.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
So my next 3 were part of a series, which is The Secret World of Maggie Gray, The First Family, and When a Wolf Loves the Moon, all by Granger. The Secret Life World of Maggie Gray. I recommended that book as well on Kindle Unlimited.
Do you keep your recommendation? Do you keep your recommendation?
Yes, I do. It's really weird though, so let me explain. The first book I gave 3 stars. The second book I gave 4 stars, and the third book I gave 4 stars. It's supposed to be a 7-book series, just so you're aware. So it's not done yet. I think the main character Maggie Gray story is done, but they're going to do more books. Am I going to read it? Debatable. I don't know. So the very first book, let me tell you why I gave it 3 stars. This book has no plot. Okay. Now, I'm sure other people will read it and be like, it does have a plot. It doesn't. It has no plot. But guess what? I need to know what's going to happen. These conversations are great. It's just people walking around doing everyday regular life. They go to a Black HBCU. They get thrust into this world that they didn't know existed. And she falls in love with this wolf shifter guy. Not even fall in love. Like, they hated each other. Here's the thing. They hated each other. Okay? And then the next chapter, they have feelings. And I'm like, how did we get here? You see what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't fully fleshed out. But at the same time, I still want to see what's going to happen. Because she is apparently a vampire and didn't know. And he's a werewolf.
How do you not know you're a vampire?
Because her magic was suppressed.
Okay.
So and then she was born of a human mother. So she doesn't have, she can eat food. She doesn't need blood to live.
Got it.
Yeah. The second book is better. She meets her brother. He's a vampire, fully in the vampire role. She didn't even know she had another brother. She had a brother. Do you remember I made you watch that show, Veronica Mars? He is Logan. He is Logan. If they gave Logan a bigger budget and he could be darker.
Logan.
Yeah. I loved him. He was my favorite character. And then there's this talking cat named Quan. Loved him too. He just talked shit the whole book. And when I tell you, it's when me, you, and Janella get together. One of us is just talking shit. It was like that. It's a good time. There was no plot. I'm being honest. So if you need a plot, no. But if you want to read a book just to have a good time, I literally finish every book every single day. 1, 2, 3, bam, bam, bam. It took me a day to read each book. And they're all like 400 something pages. So just so you know. But yeah, there you have it. What's your next book?
My next book is Woven in Moonlight. And I wish that I didn't have to read Crescent City because I had to stop reading Woven in Moonlight to finish Crescent City because something we were recording. And that kind of like threw me off.
Aww.
And the book was really good. I gave it 4.5 stars.
Okay.
It follows this girl that was they lived in the city, the kingdom, and it was taken over by the mountain people.
Mm-hmm.
This girl was taken in by, I guess I would call her like the princess's nanny, and was like, hey, we're going to train you to be the princess's decoy so that nobody can get her. Everybody has a gift of magic.
Okay.
She's raised to be the decoy. It comes to a point where after they take over the kingdom, the mountain people, the mountain king, I don't remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
He sends people out to their people, and it's like, hey, the princess is going to marry me, and that's how we're going to unite our kingdoms or whatever. So they send the decoy. Mm-hmm. While she's there, there's this guy, I call him Zorro, because he's coming around with a mask on his face, and he's like Zorro and Robin Hood have a baby. Yeah. So while she's in the kingdom, she just starts to like see things from a different perspective, because when you live within your culture and within your little world, you only believe what you're told. You only believe that history. Okay. So you believe your people are right. So now she's forced to live in this castle, which used to be her people's castle. She's forced to live there, and she starts seeing like, okay, maybe everything that I was taught is not really how it happened. And she sees a different perspective from the other side. Like guilt. And it kind of like muddles her. Like, she's like, I don't know which side to take. And she's forced to either take her princess's side, which is her best friend, or pick the side of everything that she has learned and what she feels is right.
Like Guild.
I haven't read that one yet. But they're making that a series, I think. So I might
read it. I heard that.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would do that. All right, this is my last book.
I have one more after that.
My last book is White Like Me, Reflections on Race from a Privileged Son by Tim Wise. This was an audiobook. I didn't rate this book. Let me tell you something.
I'm waiting.
Okay. I can understand you as a white person saying you're an ally to the Black community. Sometimes, though, it comes off as performative. So, for instance, he talks a lot about how when he was growing up, he was the first one in his family. Like, his parents went to segregated schools, his grandparents, all of that. He was the first one in his family to actually go to integrated schools since he was a child. So he always had Black friends. So he was telling a story about how when they were throwing a football with his Black friends in elementary school, it was like, yeah, Tim, that's my nigger. Tim, no. If you grow up around Black people, you know there's a difference between the ER and the A at the end of the word. Do you know that difference? Okay, so for you to, and I don't have an issue with you saying it because I understand you're saying the story, you're telling your story, but I just feel like there's certain nuances that you should know being around Black people, like you said you were, and knowing the difference. So to me, it sounds like bullshit. So you're trying to tell the story to say you're an ally, and I don't believe you. It just, to me, it feels like you want to write something to make you feel good. Like, I'm with my Black people. We don't need you. Go ahead. That's just how it felt.
And this is something that you read for your siblings' book club, right?
For the book club. Yep.
I can see that.
Yeah. Now I understand that you have some key points that you do definitely address. The differences between knowing that, for instance, he told a story about how he met a man when he was growing up. He lived in this apartment, and it was an older black man. He fixed the different apartments. What do you call them?
The maintenance man.
The maintenance man.
The
He was like,
super.
yeah. So he was like, hey, Tony. But he knew if he was growing up, he would never talk to a older white man like that. He would say Mr. Tony or whatever. But he knew because he was black, I didn't have to give you that respect. And he was like, I remember that at 2. No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up.
No, it's funny that he remembers that too. I just read a study. We really don't remember anything before the age of 4. And if you do remember certain things, it's very vague and it's actually a gift. Like, not very many people could do that. So he's full of shit.
I have a memory from when I was 2.
2?
Mm-hmm.
Then you're gifted.
I have a memory from when I was 2, but it's literally a memory.
Yeah, like you can't play out the whole scene.
Yes.
Like you're like, oh, I remember this happened.
Yes. So, yeah, he was like, he made an argument with his mom because he asked his mom, and he was like, who's the brown man? And she was like, well, he's black, and that's Mr. Tony. And he was like, no, I know all the colors in my Crayola box. He's brown.
He said that in the book?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't believe
that
you.
maybe there's like people out there that, and I know we're going a little bit off topic here.
Yeah.
That just feel the pressure to be like, hey, I'm with you guys. So they overcompensate with that because of how everything is. Instead of, and I'm saying this coming from me as well, like, because I've noticed where I've done that. Just because you're like, hey, no, I'm with you guys. Instead of just letting your actions show that.
Yes.
So do you think that's what he was doing? Like he's just, hey, you guys, I'm with you guys. Let me write this book.
And that's why I said I feel like it was performative, because I'm listening to your story and I'm like, your story don't make sense. To me.
To me.
Now, other people might take it and feel like this was an excellent book. I learned something. But you ain't tell me nothing that I didn't experience as a black woman growing up in the US. So I really didn't care. And again,
did they feel the same way?
We haven't discussed it yet. We discussed it this weekend. But again, to me, I just feel like I don't care, bro. Respectfully. But I'm not going to sit here and say that someone else can't take from that story. Another white person might be able to learn something from it, draw from it, and understand how to be an ally. For me, I just feel like shut up. It did nothing for me.
But at least you get to see it from a different perspective.
A different perspective. Here's the thing, though. That's what's bothering me. I've heard other, and I don't want to compare, but I've heard other white people who are allies that will break something down and you don't feel like it's performative. I just felt like his book was performative. I knew this from a young age. I knew it was wrong. I grew up with black people. Shut up. I don't even believe you.
I don't think as children growing up that we know something is bad to that level.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
we're just... Now, if you're telling me you're looking back and you understand now as an adult.
Yes.
But for you to be like, I just always knew. Did you?
Now you can say I didn't understand because that's how it was for me. Because we've talked about my childhood. I didn't understand the hate. I didn't understand the ill feelings because I'm just like, what is your problem? But I didn't necessarily look at it as like, you're wrong for feeling that way. It was just like, why are you like that kind of thing?
Right. But I don't feel like to me, and again, I could be wrong. Maybe he was just an angel on earth. Who knows?
Is that what he calls himself?
Huh?
Does he consider himself an angel on earth? Or is that just you making
that's
that up?
Me. Yeah, no, that's me saying that.
I was like, okay, I think we have deeper issues here.
Maybe he was that. But I'm just saying, to me, it just felt like I honestly don't feel like a lot of people address that until they become older and then look at society as a whole. And I don't feel like a lot of people even look at society as a whole honestly, until like late 20s, if that, like when you're really thinking about your life or what it is you want, who you want to be as a person. Like, let's be real. I don't think you consider any of those things as a child. It's just like if your parents tell you, like, all right, well, I just gotta hide it. You don't have a full understanding, like you said. So,
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense.
but yeah, that was my take on that. Again, if y'all want to read it, go ahead. I'm mad I spent my money on this book, but yeah.
You used the credit for it?
No, it was $6. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah.
My last book, y'all. My last book is by Emily Rath, and it's the prequel to Pucking Around. It's called That One Night. It's a romance. I gave it 5 stars.
What?
I think the prequel was very well written. It follows Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, because in Pucking Around they don't call her that. So I had to like remember her first name. Rachel is at a bar. She had just left her brother's he just got married, so they're eating brunch the next day or whatever. And she had just left it because she got an email that wasn't the news that she wanted. So she's sulking at the bar, and there's this Chad sitting next to her, just trying to get with her, saying all the wrong shit. Yeah. Here comes this big buff god
Mm-hmm.
walking into the bar and says, "Hey, Amy, there you are." And yeah, he saw that she was being, chatted. So, oh, I like that, chatted. So he stepped in to save her. The guy goes away. He sits there. They start talking. They share some fries. They have a connection. They're attracted to each other, all this stuff. She's very forward and it's like, "Hey, do you want to go upstairs?" And he was like, "Yeah, I want to." So they go upstairs. And basically the book is just them getting to know each other and finding things out, love making. But just the way it was written and the chemistry behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And just, first of all, if I were to be single back in the day, I'm too old for this shit now. But if I were to be single back in the day, and if I were to ever have a one night stand, this is how I would want it. The room, the way they describe the room.
You are more excited about the room than a one night stand.
Yes. And the room service and the rain.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Maybe that is why I gave it 5 stars. It's not even about the book. It's just like book me that room.
Yeah, and I talked to you about this. Me and one night stands, no. My anxiety on 1,000. Like I tell people all the time, I'm the weirdest person when it comes to sex. I'm like, I feel like you might have AIDS, dog. I don't know.
Yeah, we had this conversation. I don't know if any of you guys have watched a movie in the 90s called Kids. That movie
so that she could talk with me.
That movie effed me up. That is the reason why I stayed celibate for as long as I did. And yeah, that movie effed me up. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, Colette? We'll just get each other the room and we will sit there while it's raining and read our books and get some room service. We don't need the one night stand. I just want the room, really. That was my final book.
Yeah.
And now Colette is going to grace us with her book haul.
Listen,
I did not get any this month, so.
Look, this is how high the stack is. Can you see the top?
Yes, I'm so excited.
So I won a giveaway on Bookstagram. And so she bought one of the books off of my wish list, which was 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. Now you already know I love her. She will be at the Black Romance Book Festival. So I gave this book 5 stars, by the way. Love this book. My March book pick of the month.
I didn't get one. No, I didn't get one. I forgot, and then I was just like, eh.
Okay, well, my March book was Our Infinite Fates. There we
It's
go.
a really pretty cover.
Isn't it? It's also skinny. I love that for me. Yeah. This month I got 3 books out of Book of the Month. I got The Lion Women of Tehran, which was my one of the not the recipient, but the nominations.
Runner-up.
Nominations.
Not runner-up, but yeah.
Yeah. And then I also got this as an add-on, which is Rebel Witch. This is the second book to Crimson Moth. I had to think about it.
And I was thinking of The Witch Hunter, which is the same book, y'all.
Same book, yeah. Apparently there's a UK title and a US title. Why would they do this to us? I don't know.
Well, that's like Harry Potter.
Is it?
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
I did not know that. I also got this month. I haven't gotten to it, but I'm going to read it next month. Bam!
Oh, she's been talking about this, y'all.
Yeah, there was some drama with her stuff.
That's big.
Yeah, it's a chunker.
Chunky monkey. I like them big.
Read it.
I like them chunky.
This is the in the Legendborn series. No.
I'm going to make you watch Madagascar. I think it's part 2.
I have not watched Madagascar. You are correct.
It's funny.
You are correct.
That's what we watch when we go to the
my good friend here told me about this book she recommended on Kindle Unlimited.
Uh-oh.
By Winter Time. I was chosen by a vampire. I had to get it. I was like, that sounds fantastic. I bought the book. Do I like it? I don't know. I'm going to read it and see.
You're going to like it. It's Winter Time.
And then this month was also my wedding anniversary to my husband. So he was like, let's go to Books A Million. And we did. And he was like, you can get 3 books. I only ended up picking 2, but that's fine.
That's a lot of pressure when you don't know about it. You know what I mean?
telling you. I was like, you should have prepared me. And I'm pretty sure you putting that on me on purpose, but it's fine. My first book I got is Alyssa Cole because it's Alyssa Cole. An Extraordinary Something. An Extraordinary Union. Apparently, she writes anything and everything that she wants, whether it's AI romance, historical fiction romance. She'll write like thrillers. She has a lot of she writes different genres. Yeah, she writes whatever she feels like writing. And I was like, I like that. I like that for her. And then the last book I got was Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood because it's Ali Hazelwood.
Yes. Do we need another reason? Ali Hazelwood.
Right. And that is my book haul. Okay, Elizabeth, let's close this out.
All right, guys. We thank you guys so much for joining us for our March wrap up. Join us next time. We thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate and love you guys. Like, share, subscribe. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Follow us. Join our family. Thank you guys again, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.